that's how Facebook works. And that algorithm changes all the fucking time.
We did each other toy, honey. I'm sorry. It's fine, you keep it.
So, if you're on your phone, live, we'll have a couple minutes to do the sharing.
Colts should trade Andrew Luck. I know.
I just hope we can win a game.
That this team is light years away from winning its first Super Bowl. From management to the structure on the team to the pieces that they still need.
If you're a quarterback and the injury affects your throwing shoulder. So Indy has the number 3 pick in the draft. I'm seeing this team taking a quarterback and moving on.
The rivalry is back on.
The backup role has suited me well in my career.
Colts aren't at 32, but they are this year. Oh, you look at the personnel on defense. Who knows with Andrew Luck? I'm worried about the running game. I'm worried.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Colts fans, boys and girls, and millions in attendance. Welcome back for another episode of D-Line Sports here at the beautiful Burn and Bet Studios, where all your trash talking comes to life.
That's so nice.
It is pretty nice.
It's pretty
I'm
nice.
getting better at this introduction thing, aren't I? Anyways, we want to start out Thanking our friends over at Preferred Mechanical Services for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. Give our friends at Preferred Mechanical a call. I believe a number is going to pop up on the screen. If not, give our friends a call at 317-924-4042. Tell them D-Line sent you and receive a 10% discount on your service. Now, that's only for residential, not commercial. Because my buddies, they do commercial and residential. That's only for your house. If you own a 300-unit apartment complex, you're not getting 10% off. Sorry.
Damn it.
But if you own a home and you need your air conditioning serviced, which I highly recommend you do that, the season's getting ready to start. Once the hot hits, it's going to take weeks to get a service personnel out there. So give our friends at Preferred Mechanical Service a call today. Tell them D-Line sent you, get you 10% off. We also want to thank the band Brother Oh Brother.
Yes, they do our intro music, in case you didn't know. They will be playing April 29th at 7 p.m. at the Hi-Fi on the south side. So anybody that likes going to the Fountain Square area and hanging out, that's a good place to go.
They've really cleaned that up.
Yes.
Fountain Square area
Yes.
used to be rough as a two-headed cob.
Yep. I don't know if I've heard that, but
Well,
yeah.
it's pretty rough, let me tell you. But they got that area really, really cleaned up now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
real
it's
nice
a good place to
spot.
go hang out. I recommend going. They're a hell of a band.
Yeah. What kind of band are they?
They're a rock band. They're a two-piece.
A two-piece rock band.
A two-piece rock band. They're very, very original. I like them a lot.
I do too. I love that they letting us use their music on our
Yes.
videos. I mean, you want to talk about get jazzed up, pumped, and ready to go.
Yeah.
That
It's
can do it.
exciting.
We also want to thank our friend over on Instagram. If you like our videos that we show and you like the videos that we show on Vernon Bett's Facebook page, a young Colts fan has an Instagram page called Colts Vids, VIDZ. Go check him out on Instagram, see all his videos. You can see any other videos that ourselves and him are collaborating on. But this is a very talented young man. He does excellent work. And he's a huge, huge, huge Colts fan. So, well, we got some background. Who is this person? Why is she in our studio? Isn't this the He-Man Woman Hater Club studio?
No longer. We've injected some estrogen into our mix here.
We've been invaded.
She's a fantastic sports fan.
Is she a Colts fan?
Sorta,
Oh
mostly.
my God!
She is a football fan. She is a golf fan. She is a horse racing fan. I believe
Does
she
she
likes
like Tom
lawnmower racing. I think she enjoys a little bit of hockey. Maybe not hockey. No, you don't like hockey. Okay. This is Kristen Claiborne.
Hi, Christian. Welcome to the show. And if you guys need further information, Christian's going to start helping us with some research topics. We are guys. We forget things real fast, real easy. So names pop off. They're in our head, but not on our tongues. So Kristen's going to help us out with that. So everybody, give Kristen a big thumbs up. Well, welcome her to the show. We are honored to have you.
Thank you.
She'll also be helping us keep track of our comment line on Facebook Live, so we'll be able to answer questions a lot easier.
Oh, that's
fantastic.
cool.
Yes.
Is she going to tell us every comment, like, hey, big, bald, fat guy, you suck?
I hope not.
Okay, that's good.
She's going to screen them, I believe.
We get a lot of those comments. Anyway, Coach Swopes, how's your week been?
It's been great. Really got into watching and following the Masters this past weekend.
Who are these people in my studio?
I mean, if you're a sports fan and you're not a Tiger Woods fan, there's something wrong with you.
Golf is not even a sport.
Oh, it's a sport. It's a sport.
Nobody gets hit. You have somebody walking around carrying your equipment for you, telling you what you should use, where you should put the ball placement. How is that a sport?
Well,
The only good thing about golf is riding in the golf cart, drinking beer.
yeah. I like drinking.
The rest of it's not even a sport. That's what I used to think. Until the first time I picked up a club and I tried to hit that little ball.
It's tough.
That first swing humbled my butt real fast. And I seen how hard that sport truly was. And I've been a fan of it ever since.
I'm not much of a golfer myself. I pick up a club and it's a disaster waiting to happen, but I can appreciate it.
I love it. I don't get to play it as much as I want to. One, I stopped drinking, so that took a lot of fun out of it. But two, I've had 2 back surgeries. So watching Tiger Woods come back from a 10-year, 11-year.
Since 2005,
Well,
he
how
has
many
not
years
won.
is that?
He's not won.
Nobody wants to add that up.
14 years.
Christian, is that correct?
The last time he won a major was in 2008. The last time he won the Masters was 05.
Yes. I found some interesting facts about that.
You said that really.
Yeah. Like I'm excited.
Like you're
to talk
getting
about
excited
this.
on the tape. Both hands above the table, please. Ooh. This is a family show.
So there have been a lot of things happen since the last time Tiger won the Masters. We've had 3 different presidents: Bush, Obama, and now Trump. LeBron has left Cleveland to go to Miami, left Miami to go to Cleveland, then left Cleveland again to go to L.A. We have 3 NFL teams that have moved, and 9 different teams have won Super Bowls. All since Tiger Woods has won a Masters.
How do you have time to find all this crazy information?
I had fun looking for it.
That's a big time span, and
It really is. In sports, it's a millennium. It really is. I mean, you look at any other sport. How are you going to have one player do that in that length of time? In football.
and then come back and be on the top of his
Yeah,
game.
exactly. You just don't see it, and to see Tiger do this, I think it's. Kristen brought up the great comeback he had over the weekend. It's a great comeback period. Just coming back after 14 years to come back and win this same tournament again with that big of a span of time in between, it's amazing.
Well, what impresses me the most is he's undergone 4 different back surgeries.
Yeah.
I've got. Yeah, we're not talking about the other stuff. I've had 2 back surgeries, and I'm lucky to put my socks on every morning.
Yeah.
You know, because your mobility diminishes with each surgery.
I'm just extra large, and
Well, that doesn't help my case, but so for him to have 4 come back like he has, and then this year to start the golf year off, winning the Masters is absolutely amazing to me. And
I agree.
the only thing that he didn't look like from back in 2008, he looked better, in my opinion, than he did back
There's more
then.
poise.
I mean, he's got arms of the size of Darius Leonard now.
Yeah.
The only thing that he has to stop doing is taking his hat off.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Get a little LeBron thing going on up there. Yeah.
You know, by next year,
bring it on home.
By next year,
bring
he'll
it on
have
home,
the
Tiger.
holes shiny. But yeah, Tiger Woods most definitely impressive. And those are some cool facts. That's a lot of things happening in between that span.
Yeah, especially in sports. That's crazy.
I wonder how many people. You should have looked up how many people graduated high school.
Well, I know my son started and finished school within that time span.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a long time.
Wow, my goodness. Anyways, what else you got about the Masters? Any other? Did you get to watch it?
I got to watch some of it. I got updated on it a lot. But no, I didn't get to watch a lot of it. I got to see some highlights. What I saw, there was a lot of going back and forth, especially on that last day. I think there was several lead changes as far as who was in the lead. That he only won by one stroke. He
won by 2.
No, he won by 1. He finished the Masters 13 under.
Oh, he was 14.
No,
And
it
everybody else
was 13.
Or the next one was 12. Okay.
The next one was 12, and there were like it may have been 4 or 5 golfers that were tied at 12 under. So it was a very competitive,
race, yeah.
very competitive tournament.
Awesome. All right. Well, we got May next month.
Yes.
So all you open-wheeled race fans, we will be talking about the IndyCar series, especially the Indianapolis 500. It's in our backyard. We've all been there. We've all been drunk, passed out on 16th Street at one time or another.
Seen more things than we'd like to see.
Hey, and as a young man, you grow up real fast on 16th Street, 2 o'clock in the morning, the night before the race.
We went to the race last year, and we were parked on the outside of turn 3. Yeah, turn 3.
Wow, no,
And we were in the waning moments of the race, and we were looking across the track and noticed that there was a man wearing a Speedo and a pair of flip-flops and a cowboy hat. And that was all he was wearing. He had a big old beer gut, and he's leaning against the fence with one hand, and the wind blowing his hair and the breeze, and taking in a lot more sun than he should probably get, and a lot more beer too.
I went down there one year with my buddy, and we was with his uncle and some of his friends, his uncle's friends, and one of his uncle's friends walked by a Long John Silver's and was pounding on the window, screaming, "I want some fish-flavored pancakes." Just beating the hell out of that window, screaming, "I want some fish-flavored pancakes, damn it." Oh, my God. That has stuck in my memory forever. I can't remember my own name, but I'll remember that for the rest of my life. So many great fun stories about the track. Yeah, especially back in the old days when you go in the infield and do all the party and stuff like that. But you guys out there, if you're open wheel fans, if you're race fans, if you're just a 500 fan in general,
keep
ready.
it in mind. It's on its way.
It is on its way. So we're definitely going to be getting into that soon. Got a lot of Colts stuff going on right now.
Yeah, we got the off-season conditioning coming up. That seems like it's going right along as it should. No reports of injuries. We don't have anybody that's going through any big rehabs or anything, so that's great. We're not going through what Jacksonville's going through.
Good.
Yeah. No arguing with management about not wanting to show up to do off-season conditioning or anything like that. We got a pretty good team that I think they're playing together and they're preparing together.
That's always puzzled me, and maybe you or somebody else out there that can fill me in. Why can't the coaches be involved on these all-season conditionings and the different little practices that coaches can't be involved? Why are they still, with today's world, kids, pick a sport and they play that sport the entire year.
Yeah.
Either for the school or in a club or something, but they can stay in that sport all year long, be trained, be coached. And then you get into the high school level, whatnot, and they got, NCAA rules. And that part I understand because they are kids. You need to have boundaries set or some of those coaches will take it too far. But on the professional level, why are those boundaries still there?
Well, on the professional
whoever wants
level,
to practice the hardest, whoever wants to put more time in it, those are the teams that are going to win. Let them do it.
Well, on the professional level, I think it comes down to a matter of leveling competition. So you tell the teams, okay, so you can only have organized practices for this time span, for this long. You can only do these certain things during those practices. I think a lot of that has to do with the competition and keeping it even. Because, like you said, some coaches and some organizations will take it too far.
But if you're a professional and you're being paid for that, you understand that. You understand that, hey, this organization takes it way too far. I don't want to sign with them in my free agency.
There was a lineman in Minnesota a few years ago that died during the off-season conditioning, I believe. I can't remember his name. But I think that's where a lot of this started. And then the NFLPA got involved and said that we're going to limit times for contact, we're going to limit times for off-season conditioning, things like that, because it all became part of their collective bargaining agreement. And once that got in, that's what it is. So I think going around next time when they come back for their CBA negotiations, a lot of this will probably change. I believe that. So
I don't see it being relevant at this level, at a professional level.
Well,
they
should all be taking care of their bodies and eating what they should be eating and working out 4 hours a day and running and conditioning. But these guys have lives outside of football, and
I understand that, and it's an extremely rough, physical sport. You need that downtime. I understand that, but if you have players that want to be coached, that want to work on their technique, that want to work on their timing routes, that they want to work on their arm speed and strength.
Yeah.
They should be able to be coached at that facility with their coaches that they have on their team. That's just my opinion.
Well, if you look back at teams in the past, like if you look back at the Peyton Manning era Colts, there was a lot of talk about how Peyton would get together with the receivers at Duke University during the off seasons. And this would be uncoached practices. He would get together with them at Miami University. They would have these little trips where they would go on, and that's what they did. And you would hear about them showing up an hour early for practice and stay an hour late every day, just working together, where the coaches weren't involved. So damn the CBA, we're going to do what we want to do to get better. And I don't think you get that commitment out of every player. I think you get that commitment out of special players, because I think you can get a long way with hard work, and you can get a long way with talent. But if you don't put those two things together, the talent and the hard work, then you don't get some of the special players that you have at that level. You'll take a good player who isn't very talented, and if he works his ass off, he might make it into the NFL. Or you could have a player that's extremely talented, but he's lazy, he might make it into the NFL. But the guys like you see that made it into the Hall of Fame, the Peyton Mannings, the Emmitt Smiths, the Barry Sanders, some of these guys, there was a rare combination of hard work and talent.
I just think they should be able to go to their home facility, be coached, and
yeah. See, I don't know.
Not be treated,
I don't know. I don't know all
be treated
the
like a
rules.
high school outfit. That's all. That's all. I mean, and Peyton Manning's record shows, that work pays off.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the first ballot Hall of Famer, hands down. And look what they've been able to accomplish. But if you can make the rest of your team maybe not have the same will as he did, but make them have the same will, your team's going to go a lot farther. Your team's going to do a lot more. And to me, that's what being a professional athlete is. That's what being a professional organization is. Doing everything you possibly can to put yourself in the best position that you can.
Yeah.
And, your coaching staff is the biggest part of that. Because ultimately on Sunday, you're running the coach's plays.
Well, if you got a special motivator, you've got a guy that's especially good at being a coach. Somebody like that guy out east that we don't really care for.
Yeah, we don't say his name in
there. Yeah. And Tony Dungy, Bill Parcells. I mean, you can go down the list. There are guys, Bill Walsh. Tom Landry. I mean, guys like that. You can go down that list, and you can see those guys put in the hard work, and then they were special people. They were special leaders. They got people that wanted to be part of that, and they would work hard to be part of that. So there you go.
Still didn't answer my question.
What?
Why can't they?
Why can't they?
Yeah, I understand everything that
Well,
you
right
just
now
said.
the rules dictate that they can only spend so much time
Okay, good enough.
together,
It's the rules.
organized.
That's all you had to say.
With
We
a
just spent
coach.
20 minutes on this, and all you had to say is, hey, it's in the collective bargaining agreement. It's in the rules.
It is what it is.
It is.
Not everybody likes it.
Hey, I got an email from the Colts I wanted to share with everybody. I gotta find it now. Of course, I didn't tag it. Yeah, it's called Colts Skill Camp. It is Saturday, June 1st, from 10 to 1, and it's at the West 56th Street practice facility, where the Colts themselves run practices.
Mm-hmm.
And it's designed for boys and girls grades 2 to 9. It's $50. But I think that would be really, really fun to take your son or daughter, let them get some training by some of those guys out there on the same field that the Colts play. So I got this email, and I just wanted to share it with everybody. That's June 1st from 10 to 9, or 10 to 1. If you guys are interested in taking your, and I'm sure it's on the Colts website if you want to check it out. But I wanted to bring that up for everybody. Now, next question I got for you, Coach, is I went live the other day, told everybody what topics we're going to cover, and, kind of gave them a preview of what the show is going to be. And I asked people if they had any topics that they wanted to us to hit on. And several people messaged me, and they want to know which Colts player has the most to prove in the 2019 season.
Oh, that's intriguing. I think if you look at it, maybe you look at somebody that had a tough time last season with injury, or somebody that's trying to break through into the starting lineup, or somebody like that. I like Deion Kane for that. He's going to be coming back. I think he got injured in the preseason last year, week 1. And there's a lot of talk. The expectations are high with this kid. I know he wasn't.
Very high.
Yeah, he wasn't a super high draft pick, but he showed a lot of promise in the preseason. And from what everybody talked about him in practices and things last year, I hope that he has a breakout season and proves why we picked him. I think Tyquan Lewis. I think he started off the season a little slow last year, but as the season came along and towards the end, he really busted out. And I think he's going to be one that's got a lot of promise going into next season. I think he's going to show us something.
You know who I think has the most to prove is Chester Rogers.
Boy, he's got a
to me,
he's got a fight ahead of him.
He
to
started
hold
out
on to a spot
with this organization as predicted to be a number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
And he slipped back, and got himself on the special teams roster.
Well, with the addition of Devin Funches and, like I said, Deion Kane coming up, I don't think that's going to make things easier for him.
No, he's got a lot. That's why I picked Chester Rogers to answer this question. I think he's very talented. I think some drop balls that he had was 100% his fault, but he is a good receiver. He's fast.
I think he has.
He has long arms.
He has the potential to be very good.
Yeah, he could do everything that we need him to do if he'd stop dropping those balls. And he caught several last year. He got several touchdowns. He does really good on special teams. But I know he wants to be a starter. I know he wants his wide receiver job.
That's a big hill to climb for him.
I think it is. But if he gets to it, he's going to be unstoppable. But that's, like I said, that was my opinion. I think Chester Rogers has the most to prove.
That was a good question. I like that question.
Pat, Eric says thank you.
You got it, buddy.
What do you want to?
Let's go over the schedule.
Yeah, I want to go over that a little bit too. That's nice that we finally got that out there. People know who's playing who and when they're playing and where they're playing.
It was almost like Christmas time, waiting for your parents to tell you can open your daggone presents.
I know.
You're sitting there
I get so excited
waiting,
about
anxious, God, here it is.
And the very first thing I did after I sat down, I looked at the schedule. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win.
Well, let's go through them.
Yeah.
Let's go through them. Game number 1 at the Los Angeles Chargers.
September 8th. It's a season opener, and we are flying all the way across the country to LA to play a team that we have historically had all kinds of trouble with. And unfortunately, I feel like we're going to take an L on that one. I don't like it, but I feel like
I don't like you.
I think that's.
Because I hate Philip.
That's
Rivers.
gonna. Oh, I can't stand that guy
cannot
either.
stand that.
I can't stand him. He's good though, and that team's really improved their defense. They're gonna have a decent pick in the draft this year. I think they're only gonna get better. But Philip Rivers is getting old. I think the big thing that hurts us going into that game week 1 is just the travel, and it's week 1. So everybody's not going to be on the same page 100% yet. So I feel like we're going to start the season off with a limp.
It's quite possible. Now, I got them winning that game. I think talent versus talent, I think we've got them. I honestly believe that we can win that game, but I do have a hash mark by that because there is a good chance that we don't win it for the exact reasons you said. You're traveling cross country. It is the very first game. And a lot of teams need a couple games to, really start getting the engines firing on all cylinders. Yeah. Is that going to be us this year? I don't know. Depends on how our practices go. Depends on how hard the coaches push them.
Injuries is always key.
But right now, everybody's coming back off their injuries for us, aren't they?
Well, it's the off season. Nobody's hitting each other yet.
Well, that's true. We can't get people hurt on.
Yeah, the concussion train hasn't come into town yet.
Yeah, we can get people hurt in preseason. All right, game number 2 at the Titans.
I feel like we're going to bounce back after losing to the Chargers and go into Tennessee and hand them a butt whooping, like in the old-fashioned sense. I just feel like the Colts are a better team than Tennessee, and they've got a little bit of the little brother syndrome going there with us, and I think we're going to take the win on that one.
A little bit. I got a win on that one too. But I don't want nobody to sleep on Titans.
No.
Look what they did last year.
They're very young and
on
very
the road
talented.
with a lot of different teams. New England, Pittsburgh. They didn't finish the season very well. But they made their mark on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, they sure did.
I don't want to sleep on them. Now, I think we are going to go in there and we're just going to pull their pants down and spank their ass.
Yeah.
But I don't want to sleep on them. All right, week number 3, Atlanta Falcons here.
That's our home opener. Atlanta doesn't scare me to death. Their defense is a little bit on the weak side, and I think we exploit them and get the W. So, starting off 2-1.
I got a W-2, and I'm at 3-0. Week 4, Raiders, home.
I think the Raiders run into the same trouble that we did in week 1. They're going to be traveling all the way across the country to come play us at our place, and I believe we're more talented than them. I just really do. Their defense is, if everything falls into place like I think it will in the draft, I think their defense is going to get younger and faster and probably improve. But that offense is the same offense that we're looking at last year. Antonio Brown with it being added to it. But I think we take them. I really do.
I think we do too. I've got nothing but love and respect for John Gruden. I've always liked him. Even when he went back to the Raiders, you know, I'm still a Gruden fan. The man knows football, without a doubt. I think the Raiders' only problem up to this, at least at week 4 when they face us, is that they're not going to know each other well enough yet to be firing on all cylinders. That team is pretty much brand new.
Yeah.
There's
That fourth week is kind of like at the end of the honeymoon phase for teams.
Right.
So you're going to get through that first quarter of the season, and after that, teams start to gel a lot more.
And my thing is, they're going to have so many new faces on there. That honeymoon phase is going to take even longer. You know, I'm thinking maybe week 6, week 7, then the Raiders are really going to show up, show out, and show who they are. And that young,
they're going to be a
that young,
decent team this year.
explosive defense is going to be wrecking folks.
Yes.
I just don't think they're going to be ready for us.
No, I agree with that.
All right, week number 5, back to Kansas City
On Sunday night,
on
prime time under the lights, and
facing the magical unicorn that shits rainbows.
I made a prediction during our last show talking about Kansas City, and I predict we're going to win this one. For those reasons,
I got us winning that game too, but I got an asterisk by it because you can't deny what Kansas City has.
no, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes alone are make for a good offense.
Yeah.
My problem with Kansas City is their lack of a running game, and now that they're losing Tyreek Hill likely, maybe for the season, maybe for 4 weeks, whatever ends up happening with that whole domestic violence situation, I'd prefer not to get into. I think they're going to be not nearly as good as they were last season. Their defense did not improve. They got worse, if that was possible.
Well, we ain't to the draft yet. That's next week.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to go back to Kansas City, put our foot down and say, hey, this shit isn't going to happen. I think Houston's going to go into Kansas and have one of the best games of his life and show them that they made a mistake for letting him go.
I'd love to see him have a 3-sack night that night. That'd be great.
4 or 5. I mean, this guy, Houston is a beast.
Yeah, he's tough.
If you've never watched him
a lot.
play, you really need to.
Yeah, he's
And going back,
strong coming off the edge.
Going back to the team that just let you go for whatever reason.
He's gonna have a good
make
week
a statement.
Week. Yeah. Okay, the next week they have a bye.
I think we're gonna win that one.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna take that as a no-loss week. We might, whatever injuries are ailing us that week, we might get some of those people back, so that'll be helpful.
All right, now at week 6 to bye, I've got us at 5-0 with two asterisks.
4-1, 4-1, and I stand by. I stand by all my predictions. So that's where I'm sticking with it.
Well, I'd hope so. I ain't gonna stay. All right, and then we're coming off the bye, going back in home against the Texans.
We are at home against the Texans. We're going to win against the Texans at home.
Yeah.
That is a very good organization, but we're at home. And I feel like teams within your division, if they're equally as talented as you or close to that, I feel you're going to get a split no matter what. I took the home one on this. The home win.
I agree, but I think we are to the Texans what New England used to be to us. New England used just to be one of those teams that
just
is a monster's hill to get over, and you rarely get over it. I honestly think we are that to the Texans. And they've got some issues out there. J.J. Watt, he's
not getting younger.
I love J.J. Watt. I've always loved J.J. Watt.
They did
so
re-sign
I won't
Clowney,
trash talking too much, but he is getting old. Deshaun Watson, he's still trying to figure out this NFL system, and I love Deshaun Watson. I think he's a talented
This is
young
magical
man.
year 3 though.
It is. Well, that first year he was hurt more than half that year, so you gonna give him the full 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It still counts.
They're going to want to come in here and they're going to want to beat us so bad because we beat them last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That is going to be their downfall.
Well, I just don't. I don't think that they're as good as us, quite as good as us. I'd put it about even, maybe.
Oh, I wouldn't even go that. I wouldn't even put
maybe
even with us.
But we're at home. That's where I got this one. And it's a divisional game, and we're at home. We got to protect home field.
Well, see, that scares me because we've got a bad record of protecting home field. All right, week number 8. Broncos. Your beloved Broncos.
Oh, the Denver Broncos.
Isn't even that say something about the Broncos?
Well, that's an old.
trophy?
That's my old team that I used to play for, but
okay.
That was actually for my coaching years.
So it wasn't for Denver Broncos?
No, it wasn't Denver.
Oh, okay.
Denver is kind of like what you were saying. We've got some history with that team, and we beat them when we're not supposed to beat them, and we beat them when we're supposed to beat them, and we beat them when they're going to the bathroom, and we beat them when they're eating their cereal in the morning. We just don't lose to Denver very often. And I don't think this is going to be the year that they beat us with Joe Flacco at quarterback.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think they're in trouble, and I believe that puts us at 6-1 for me.
It puts me at 7. Yeah, 7.
7-0.
I'm
we're looking at a hell of a start for the Colts next year.
I'm at 7-0 at this point with only 2 asterisks, and those asterisks meaning that game could literally go either way.
Yeah,
but I'm still predicting a win.
Mm-hmm.
All right, week 9, Pittsburgh Steelers,
and we're at Pittsburgh. Why is it that we always have to play at Pittsburgh?
Because they're scared to come here.
I want to burn Heinz Field to the ground. I hate that place. I hate the Steelers. I'm not a big Steelers fan at all.
FBI agent listening to this show, he did not really mean it. Do not put him on the terrorist watch list.
So Pittsburgh, by all intents and purposes, they did not help themselves in free agency this year. The draft, I don't think, is going to be spectacular for them. I really don't. They might.
How many picks they got? Chris?
Who? Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
I can find out.
Please.
Yeah,
I don't think they've got that many draft picks to
play with,
make a giant impact like we do. We've got 9 picks.
Yeah, I think their first round, they've got pick number 20, so they're not even picking very high in their first round pick. Ben Roethlisberger is as old as my underwear.
That's pretty old.
It's bad, and my underwear probably has fewer holes. So I don't know how. I don't know
that I'm going to have to go home and wash my eyes out with bleach.
I don't know how.
Please continue.
I don't know how we go into Pittsburgh that we can lose.
I don't either. I don't either. I think our talent's going to be way overmatched with them. Damn.
That's actually quite a few picks.
Yeah. It's weird. It was I thinking they
wow.
didn't have that many.
Where are the picks at?
Counting wrong. Hold on. It's possible. I'm just never good at math.
1, 2, 3.
Wow.
10. She is better.
Are
at
most
math
of
than
them
what she
like
thinks.
second, third round?
20th pick in the first round, 52nd pick in the second, 66, 83rd, 122nd, 141st, 175th, 192nd, 207, and 219.
So they're strong in the second and late rounds.
Yeah. They are pretty strong. But I still don't think
Yeah.
they're going to have the talent to match up to us.
I really don't either.
And with all this off-field shenanigans that they've been having lately,
Yeah,
I
they
don't
turned
think
into the
that-
Kardashians. It's rough over there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
don't think that team is ready to play on all cylinders. Now, I do believe they've got one hell of a coach
Oh, Mike Tomlin's
that
tough.
will
He's
get that
tough.
team back together. I don't know if it will fully be this year, but they do have the capability because he is one hell of a coach.
Yeah.
All right, do we even want to talk about Miami?
Yeah, of course we do. Of course
Hey,
we do.
you know what? I did put down a win for the Steelers, but I also put that asterisk by them too, because it is an away game. It is later on in the season, and like I just said, Coach Tomlin, I can probably get those boys back on track.
Well, I don't have us stumbling against Miami. However, every team has that one game every year that they win that they're not supposed to, and every team has that one game every year that they lose that they're not supposed to. And if there is a snake bite game on our schedule, this one is it.
I agree, 100%.
Ryan Fitzmagic at quarterback. That
is funny.
It slightly scares me a little bit.
I wish he'd cut that daggum beard. He don't.
Oh well,
he looks like a dog's ass with that beard.
We're coming back home. We're into November. We're, according to my predictions, we're sitting at 7-1, 8-1. Yeah, 8-1 after 9 weeks, or 7-1 after 9 weeks because of the bye. And we're going to play Miami at home. There's no way Miami beats us, right?
Supposedly.
I got the W.
I got the W as well. Then we got Jacksonville the following week.
Okay.
W for sure. And everybody knows why that's a W. We don't even have to discuss it. Unless you just want to keep kicking a team when they're down.
This is
and
really
Jacksonville is a fun enough team to keep kicking when they're down.
This is really, to me, this is the snake bite game that I put down. This is my prediction. We're going to leave after trouncing Miami and play a division rival that is slightly diminished since 2 seasons ago, and I feel like we take a loss in Week 11 to put us at 8-2.
I don't think so. I think the coach is going to make everybody watch last year's game, and it's going to fire them up.
Maybe so. It should. But Jacksonville historically gives us all kinds of fits every time we play them, no matter who's on their team or who's coaching.
I don't know why either. I don't know why.
It's the teal. The teal.
It must. It got to be
team
something.
colors.
I don't know.
Yep.
All right, then we're at the Texans.
On a Thursday night
divisional game. Thursday night. Texans is mad at us because we just kicked the shit out of them.
At Houston.
In Week 7.
And I think we get our first and only losing streak of the season and an L against the Texans that week. It's a short week. We're going to Houston on prime time, and they know us, and they're pissed. So that's why I put that down. So 8-3 at this point in the season for me.
I'm at 8-0.
You haven't got a loss on your prediction yet?
Not yet.
You got some high expectations.
Hell yeah, I'm a Colts fan, baby. Cut me and I'm bleeding blue. All right, then we go back to Tennessee. 3 divisional games in a row.
Yes.
Isn't that pretty weird?
It is, but it's not. I like it because you're into the meat of the season. Why not be into the meat of your competition? So these are all teams you're very familiar with. You're competing with them for a playoff spot. So yeah, I think that's great scheduling actually. Tennessee that week, I think we're coming off of a short week against Houston and taking 2 L's in a row back at home against Little Brother. We're going to kick Little Brother's ass. We win that game handily, I believe.
Now, this is where I'm not changing things up. We got to win on that week, too.
Do you know how to write it up?
I do. All right. Now, this is my snake bite.
Okay.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Week 14, December 8th.
Now, if you remember last week when we went through our mock draft, I had the Bucs picking up quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think by this week that quarterback's going to be
He's no longer a rookie by week 14.
into that system. They've got some talent surrounding that guy, whichever guy they get, which is there's several possibilities on quarterbacks. Are they going to get the one I said? I don't know, probably, because I'm usually not wrong. But I've got him down as a W. But if there's a snake that's going to jump up and bite you in the ass, this is the one I think can do it.
Well, I believe we get the W against Tampa Bay, but I think we need to remember Bruce Arians is coaching down there. Those guys are going to be well motivated. They're going to be well coached.
Well coached.
And whoever is playing quarterback for them is going to be throwing bombs by then.
Yeah.
I still think we get the W just based on the fact that we just have more talent.
Oh, I do. I got the W written down.
Yeah.
But if there's a snake bite, that's the one that's, in my opinion, is where it's going to come from.
Okay.
Week 15
Monday night.
at New Orleans.
Hey, I like how we're doing this back and forth thing. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Makes us look like we're professionals.
Well,
Wow, getting trash talked in my own studio.
okay, so unfortunately, this is another W or another L for me. It's a primetime game in New Orleans, and we've got history with that team too. Unfortunately, it's not on the good side of
You
it.
don't have us winning any of the primetime games.
It's ridiculous. I got us beating
Why can't
Kansas
we
City.
win, in your opinion, under the
I've got us
mega
winning against
lights?
Kansas City. Kansas City? Come on. Kansas City. I know it's only week 5, but
I got us going down there winning that game.
I know you do.
This is Drew Brees last year. I don't think he really cares after the last.
Oh, I think he wants another Super Bowl.
I think he does, but he knows that the refs don't like him, and they're not going to call the calls. I think he goes into the season not caring. He knows he's a first-round Hall of Famer.
Well, I think there's going to be
No,
one.
I tease.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of our toughest matchups of the season. I do think talent-wise, I think we can get them. I got the W, but I got an asterisk by that one.
Okay.
Does that make you feel a little better? I do have another after, but it's a W first.
Okay. So we return after losing to New Orleans.
Winning.
After playing New Orleans, we return home to play Carolina. How do you feel about that game?
I think we're gonna win that game. I really do.
You're very predictable.
Cam Newton is coming off his surgery. Who knows how he's going to be doing?
Yeah.
And talent-wise, I don't see anybody matching up to us. I really and truly don't.
I feel like we get the win in that game. We're going to be at home, but I don't think they have enough bullets in their gun to beat us. It's a talent issue in that one. They have a good coach. I like Ron Rivera a lot.
I thought it was Riviera. Oh wait, that's the car. Okay.
I like Cam Newton a lot. I
do too. I've always liked.
I don't trust their offensive system, but their defense is spectacular.
I watched Cam when he was in Auburn. I've always liked Cam Newton.
Yeah.
I don't like the way he dresses for his interviews, but it's just because it's not my style. But talent-wise, competition-wise, man, it's
he's
hard
all
to,
heart.
It's hard to beat a guy like that on the field. He wants to compete. He wants to win.
It's going to be late in the season, too. I think they're going to be fighting for their lives come Week 16, but I still think we get the W.
I think so, too. With no asterisk.
Yes.
We get the W hands down. Now, Week 17.
I'm going to make you mad again. But I'm going to make you mad.
Not
I'm going
against Slacksonville.
I'm going to make you mad for the right reasons in this one because I feel like we're going to have our playoff position wrapped up at this point, and we're going to be resting people at Jacksonville who will have nothing to play for. So I feel like Jacksonville's starters probably may beat our third string Week 17.
Okay, now I'll take that if that's the
that's
the scenario that we're in.
That's my scenario.
Now let me flip this to you, and if we go by my scenario, where we're 15-0.
We're going to be fighting to preserve history.
And your coach,
you know how our
you're the
organization,
head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Are you going to rest those players, or are you going after the undefeated season?
You know how the Colts organization played that back in, was it 07? 07.
Yep.
Yeah, we rested people. We didn't get that perfect season. And then
Different GM, different coach,
this is true.
different players.
I
think those players wanted to rest,
Yes.
the majority of them, versus the players we've got now. I think the players we've got now will dictate sitting out or not. I think they're going to want to play. I think they're going to want to solidify that historic run.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're expecting a lot.
No,
I'm considering that's we've only had an undefeated regular season twice in NFL history.
Name the teams.
You know I don't want to name one of them.
Okay.
But, Miami and New England.
Hey, you're not supposed to say that.
I said
in here.
Yeah, well, that's the only teams that have
You
had.
could have said the shithead team. You could have said the panty-waist sons of bitches.
Wow.
North. You could have said a million other things and keep it a kid-friendly show. Like I was just reminded with all the old wows. My apologies, didn't mean. But I get worked up when you say that name. The hatred for them, I need professional help. Because I really, really hate that entire organization. I don't give any of their players any respect, even though they're talented and they deserve the respect. But I ain't giving it to them. I don't like them. Don't want to.
Well, I have the Colts finishing at 11-5 and winning their division. I don't know if that puts them a home field advantage or not for next year, because I haven't really gone through and broke down the whole schedule for everybody.
Yeah, I haven't either.
That's a lot of work.
We'd have to spend
I'd be
a week doing all that.
I'd be a whole day doing that, but right now I can break down this team's schedule and look at it the way I see it right now with where teams are talent wise and how travel works out. But the one thing that I haven't considered here is injury, and that changes everything for every team. So that's where I've got them 11-5. I think they get into the playoffs next year. I think they make a lot of noise. Whether they make it to the Super Bowl and win, I don't know. I would love to see that. But I think they're going to be a lot of fun to watch next year, and I think we're going to piss some other teams off.
Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl, and we're going to win. We're going to be the second team in NFL history to have an undefeated season and win Super Bowl.
I like
he said that last year.
He may have.
We didn't even have this show last year.
But I can picture
it. Didn't even know who you were last year.
There's some other highlights on the schedule, too, I'd like to talk about. September 5th is the kickoff for the season. And traditionally, that's the Super Bowl winner gets the kickoff for the season. But this year, being the 100-year anniversary of the start of the NFL, they decided to give that to their greatest rivalry with the Bears and Packers.
Yep.
So,
which I think is marketing-wise, I think it is
that's
brilliant.
Genius. Yeah,
I think it's absolutely,
especially having it at Green Bay.
Yeah,
I mean, you're starting the 100th season off. You're kicking off at Lambeau Field.
Now, I think game-wise, I think Chicago's going to go in there and destroy them. I don't think it's going to be a fun game to watch. But marketing-wise, for them to put that matchup,
well, if you look at the players you got in there, you've got a young upcoming quarterback in Mitch Trubisky.
Because I've already started a petition that craphead team from up north never get any airtime on.
Well, unfortunately, they still get the prime time game that week. I believe New England's playing. Let me look real quick. It just take me a second.
We got a research assistant.
Oh yeah, I'm hogging her fire here.
I know she was about to have some glory over there, and you stole it from her.
Yeah, you guys talk more than middle school girls do. What's the question?
New England. Who do they have week 1?
And you listen like a typical woman.
Wow. She's going to hit you over the head with something, Captain
That's all right. They got
Misogynistic.
big, thick hard.
So since I have your attention, Chris Weaver would like to say hi.
Hello, Chris Weaver.
Patriots are opening with the Steelers.
Steelers.
I don't even know what the question was anymore.
No, who is New England kicking off
playing
season
at home,
against?
too.
Oh, okay.
At New England for their kickoff, and I think it's a Sunday night game. It's prime time. But the Bears and Packers game, that the opening week of the season, I think is great. You've got, like I said, you got an upcoming quarterback in Mitch Trubisky. You've got a living legend in Aaron Rodgers facing off against each other. Khalil Mack on one side of the ball. I mean, he's a wrecking crew.
God, I wish we could have picked him.
I can't say enough about that guy.
I bet you every team in the NFL,
I don't
besides
know.
the Chicago Bears, are saying, "Son of a bitch, why did we try to get him?"
Well, I'm sure Oakland in the back of their mind still wishes they had.
I know they wanted a lot.
I say Oakland, the Raiders.
Yes.
I don't even know where they play anymore.
Vegas,
I think they're heading to Vegas. Yeah.
Arizona or South Dakota or something like that. I don't know.
We got some other important games during the season too. Odell Beckham Jr. is returning to New York week 2 against the Jets. So I'm sure he'll get a warm welcome when he comes back.
Well, now that you brought up OBJ, what do you think about the Browns coming here during training camp and doing the scrimmage?
I totally want to go. I want to go. We would like to go and check that out. I think it's going to be great.
Well, you know what? Let's have a D-line day out at training camp.
I'd love to.
Get everybody that listens to us. Let's get everybody that watches us. Let's get everybody that comments. Everybody that, calls in the show. And that's one thing we haven't done yet. We haven't let somebody call in yet.
No,
you want to take a call? Hey, you know what? Let's do that. If you're watching,
call in.
Call into the show.
Please.
And let us know what your thoughts on getting everybody together and all of us fans from the D-Line Sports Show go out to training camp, watch the practice. Because it's probably going to be a Saturday, isn't it?
The practice, I couldn't tell you yet.
The schedule for that ain't out. But I'm sure that the scrimmage is going to be on a Saturday. Tony, is the number listed? Can you put that up on the screen, please?
Yeah.
We actually did have a couple of really good questions in there, you guys.
All right, while Tony's doing that,
Let's
it
answer
was
some
your
questions.
job to interrupt us and tell us. Do your job, woman.
No, you guys are rabid.
Well, that's besides the point. You still have to do your job.
So Eric commented that Andrew Luck has actually only one win in a season opener since he started, if he's starting.
Fascinating. Did you research that to
No,
double check
it's one
his?
of the comments in here.
Yeah, but you got to check those stats out.
It's a comment from a viewer. You have to pay attention to your viewers, Pat.
We do, but we got to make sure they're spitting out accurate information. But I know Eric, he knows his stuff, so I'll accept it.
Rusty would like to know if Dexter Lawrence would be a good first-round pick for the Colts.
Oh my God! First of all, don't ever mention Rusty.
Okay, Dexter
again,
Lawrence.
Because he needs some WD-40, so he's not so rusty. No, actually, Rusty is the creator of Colts Bleed Blue page. That allows us to post all our stuff on there. So I got to meet Rusty a couple weeks ago down in Bloomington. Super, super fun guy. His wife and daughter came. We went to B-Dubs and talked some football. And he got the sweetest little daughter ever. It was a fun day. But you know what? That's what's great about us Colts fans. We meet each other all over the place. And none of us are that internet stalker people. You know what I mean? You actually get to meet some really, really cool, fun people. And that's what I love about doing what we do. What was Rusty's question?
Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence. Yes. If we can get Dexter Lawrence, got to get him. Now, will I take him over Tolley? Will I take him over Wilkins? Man, they're all so close.
And see,
I don't know. I don't know
think
if
it
I've
comes
got
down
a particular favorite over one or the other.
I think it comes down to taste and what you like. With the defense that we run, I feel like if you have to, I think Dexter Lawrence would be a good fit, but if you have to choose Dexter Lawrence over who? I mean, is Clellan Ferrell available at that pick? Is Christian Wilkins available at that pick? Is Ed Oliver available at that pick? I mean, you've got to really weigh these things. These are other defensive linemen.
Say if all those people are there.
If all those people are there,
take out the variable, and you know what? You got to pick anybody that you wanted. Which were you taking?
Well, if the Colts got to pick anybody they wanted with that 26th pick, and everybody was available at the 26th pick,
yeah.
Let's make it apples against apples rather than apples against oranges. Let's say defensive tackles.
Okay.
If the Colts could pick a defensive tackle that would fill in and do whatever they needed, I think you go with Quinnen Williams first. Quinnen Williams he's a beast.
Out of Alabama.
Yeah, he's tough. I would take him before I would Dexter Lawrence. I would take Ed Oliver before I would Dexter Lawrence. Him and Christian Wilkins are more of a toss-up because, again, I think this is more of a – they're even more apples versus apples than
I tell you
putting
what,
Quinnen Williams in there.
Don't leave out Tolly out from Notre Dame.
He's more – to me, he's more of a utility lineman than those guys.
Look who we just got from Notre Dame. Quentin Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
Quentin Nelson played with this guy. Quentin Nelson knows what his locker room is. He knows what his attitude is. And I guarantee you, Chris Ballard has went and talked many times with Quentin Nelson about this guy because this guy is big, he's strong, he's fast, he's talented. Now, is he the cream of the crop? Not by stat-wise.
Well,
no.
Here's the thing, though.
But
we get more than one pick in the draft.
Right, but I'm talking to answer Rusty's question.
Yeah.
And to lay more onto yours, what you were saying. I would not take that out because Chris Ballard has made it abundantly clear that he's building that culture in the locker room first.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody is reporting that this guy over here, he's a little hard-headed, he doesn't do this, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I don't like that
I
don't like that he puts his left sock on before he puts his right sock on.
His raw talent over his locker room condition. I think Chris Ballard would do that.
Well, and to answer that question,
and then
to
once
just
they get
answer
on the field, their talents are going to be fairly
Yes.
equal once they get on the field. Because you can only be so strong. You can only be so fast. If you don't have a nose for the football in that position, you're screwed anyways.
Most of it's here and here.
Right.
More than it is here.
Right. I agree. Especially at that position.
Yes.
We know this quite well. That's why this.
But to answer his question,
show's called D-Line Sports. We've lived it. We know it. We've slept it.
Dexter Lawrence, to me, he's in this draft, he is a top 5 interior defensive lineman.
I'll agree. 100%.
Top 5. So if we were to get Dexter Lawrence, I wouldn't be angry. No, I think he would be a solid pick.
Oh, definitely.
All right, got one more. Harvey Jackson would like to know what you think T.Y. Hilton's future is looking like. Is it time for him to go ahead and retire?
Oh, no.
No. He's got another 3 years with us, Carvey.
I think so.
I'd even ask a question like that. I'm talking to Carvey.
I think T.Y. Hilton.
Typical female. I think you think everything's about you, don't you? Jiminy Christmas.
I think T.Y. finishes his career as an Indianapolis Colt. I don't think he's going to be heading down the road anytime soon.
How many years does he have left on his contract? Is he down to his last 2 years on this contract?
I'm not positive. It's 2 or 3 years.
I think he still signs another contract with the Colts now, it being a 1 year or 2 year deal, maybe a 3 year deal. We'll see.
I think T.Y. Hilton's still got a lot of gas in the tank.
I do too.
If you look at him on the field when he's running, you're not hearing anyone saying, man, I think he's lost a step, or man, we really don't have to worry about dropping the safety deep against this guy, or we don't have to worry about giving him a big cushion with a corner. We can press him and we're fine. With this guy, if you put a press on T.Y. Hilton and you don't get a hand on him, it's 6 points. It's 6 points.
Well, let me ask you this. Who had the most yards from receivers last year?
For us, it was definitely him.
For the NFL, period.
I couldn't tell you.
T.Y.
I mean, are you sure? You sure it wasn't DeAndre Hopkins?
Yes. I'll make a bet with you. Loser picks his nose and eats it.
I'm not picking your nose and eating it.
Not my nose, your nose.
No, I'm not eating a booger.
Chicken ass.
Still nothing?
No, well, okay, so he had a 5-year contract extension in 2015, so that puts him.
So he's till 20.
So he's
got one more year.
Got another year. Another year, definitely. He signs another contract. With
I
us
think so, and
finishes
it'd probably be a 3 or 4 year deal.
Yeah, finishes out his career. That's our thoughts.
He's easily a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. Name 9 more that are better than him.
He did get hurt a couple times last season.
Name 9 more receivers
if he
that
got
are
hurt
better
again,
than him.
they might be, Carvey might be right. They might be looking at, hey, you're getting up there in age. You can't take the hits like you used to.
I'm challenging Carvey now to put 9 receivers in front of T.Y. Hilton.
He's made of porcelain.
I don't believe so. Oh, come on.
What?
Keep checking his feet or his ankles.
It might be an opinion. I don't know. It might be fact. I don't know.
He only done it once.
T.Y. Hilton's small. That's always been his knock. And
so was Marvin Harrison.
He was.
And Marvin Harrison had longevity in this game because he knew how to get down real fast and not take those big hits.
And T.Y. Hilton hasn't taken the big hits so far either. If you look at all of his injuries, it's all non-contact stuff.
He took a big one last year. He took a pretty big one last year. All right.
Any more questions?
Somebody asked, are you going to any games this year?
As many as I can get to, which I don't have season tickets, so it's a week-to-week thing.
If anybody that really likes our show would like to give us season tickets so we could go to the games and then talk about it, we would love you forever.
We love you a long time.
I mean, we're going to love you guys anyway.
Yeah.
It calls. We didn't get nobody called. Tony, did you get the number up on the screen? All right. We got a couple people. Chris, give us a call. The number's on the screen. Ask any question that you want, as long as it's about football or sports. If you ask about politics, I'm hanging up. If you ask about
we
Game
could
of
probably
Thrones,
answer them though.
I'm hanging up.
You don't like Game of Thrones?
I love Game of Thrones, but I hate when people mix things. This is a sports show. We talk about sports. Don't bring politics in it. Regardless of what my opinions are or what your
Game of
opinions
Thrones.
are.
No Game of Thrones, though.
No.
Okay.
Killing dragons is not a sport. Well, I guess
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. All the dragons died.
Pat, Paul says hi.
Oh, my phone started ringing. I thought that was somebody calling in.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
I mean, as far as looking at the...
Anybody want to call in, now's the time. Are you sure the number's on the screen?
It is.
Can you see it fine? Because I can't see it.
I can see it. Yeah, it's up there. 317-941-7846.
Did you hear that, Chris? You're going to reply to his comment.
We also have
317, what was it?
941.
941.
7846.
7846.
We also have some interesting Thanksgiving Day games this year. We got 3 slated for this season.
We had 3 last season, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it's becoming a tradition that the Falcons get in on this, and they're in on it again this year. Oh, did you look at that?
And make sure your mic's to the thing. Or close. There you go. But make sure you can still be heard.
D-Line Sports.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
What's going on? Who are we talking to?
This is Paul.
Paul, what's happening, buddy?
Nothing much. I was watching your thing and nobody was calling in, so I figured I'd do it.
Cool. Love it. How does it sound so far? You're our first caller.
Oh, that's good. You can barely hear you, though.
Well, you're going to have to take the questions, Jeremy.
Well, go ahead and field us a question, Paul.
I don't know very many. I mean, I've been watching my Jazz get their asses kicked.
Hey, our Pacers are the same way, bud.
Yeah, but your Pacers are getting blown out by 30-plus points.
Well, last night we had a 12-point lead going into the fourth quarter and only scored 12 points in the fourth quarter. So I would call that a blowout.
So what do you guys think of the new schedule that just came out?
I think we got an exciting season for us coming up. I think it's going to be a fun year of football, like it always is. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm thinking that we go 13-3.
Nice.
Wow. Who do you got us losing to?
The only ones that I'm really worried about are the Chiefs. Definitely worried about that's going to be really, really rough. And
Real professional, Paul. Real professional, buddy.
It's going to be tough. And what is that? Is that a Sunday night game or a Monday night game?
What, the Kansas City game is a Sunday night game.
I'm talking about the Saints.
Oh, the Saints is a Monday night game on December 16th.
Yeah, that's the game I'm most worried about. And then the third one I think that we possibly lose would be the Steelers, but that just depends on which Steeler team shows up.
Yeah, I agree with that. They've been very Jekyll and Hyde the last couple of seasons.
What do you think about our first game of the season, Paul, with the Chargers?
The Chargers, to be honest with you, I do not like Phillip Rivers one bit. A couple of years ago, we lost to the Chargers first round of the playoffs, and I remember seeing him yelling at everybody in the stadium that this is his house, and they're playing in Indianapolis. So after that, I don't ever want to lose to them ever again. So I think that we could win. I mean, the Chargers are another one of those Jekyll and Hyde teams, so it just depends on who shows up.
That's true. Good point. Good point.
First game of the season is always hard because you don't really have kind of film to look up at. I mean, what are you going to do? Look at like how we played in the preseason? So it's always the first games are kind of difficult. So, but I think that we win it.
I think we can, too. Jeremy said, Coach Swopes says we're going to lose.
So, yeah.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Well, thanks for calling in, Paul. We appreciate it.
Yeah, bud. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Thanks, Paul. You did what to whose mom?
I said I cut him off there a little bit.
Oh. Well, you're going to have done some phone etiquette over there, buddy.
Oh, we have another caller.
Hey, we got a call online, too.
It's the gas company. D-Line Sports.
Hey, how you doing? This is Carter.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm fine. How you doing, Pat?
Pretty good, buddy. You?
I'm pretty good. Okay. What do you think is the future for Jack Doyle?
Ooh, good question.
Has stepped up a lot and pretty much taken over that main role as a tight end.
Is that somebody else calling in, or is that him hitting the button?
Jack Doyle or
That's somebody else calling in.
more years?
You know, with the way Ebron's playing, as much as Doyle's getting hurt, I think he finishes out his contract and we part ways.
That's what. Or do you think, since he still has some trade price, do you think he's going to get traded for a draft pick? Or
It's very, very possible, but coming off the injury and only having a couple games under his belt last season,
that diminishes his value quite a bit.
Well, and I've got something to say about that too. Trade value in the NFL isn't nearly what it is like, say, in the NBA or even Major League Baseball. So if you're talking about trade value for a second-string tight end at this point in his career who's injury-prone, I think if you get a third or a fourth-round pick for him, you're going to be very fortunate.
Okay, and say we go to Jack Doyle and trade Jacoby with that. You think we try to get something?
Trade both?
Well, what do you want for him?
We got to have a solid end. Because the end is such a big part of our offense.
Well, let's look at the trade structure in the NFL. Let's say we want to package Doyle and Jacoby Brissett. First of all, you got to look at teams that are going to need a quarterback.
Oh, he said Brissett. I thought he said Ebron.
No.
Okay, Doyle and Brissett. Okay.
So you're talking about, first you're looking at teams that need quarterbacks. So that leaves you with what? Washington, Denver, Miami. Maybe Tampa Bay.
New York.
Yeah, I mean. Who?
Yeah, he did have surgery last season.
Yeah, at the end of the season. He's on recovery right now from shoulder surgery. I believe it was a labrum.
I went and seen him, visited him with some flowers.
No, to get back to the question about Brissett and Doyle, if you package those two guys and you want to send them to one of those teams, what are you going to get in return? Are you looking for draft picks? Are you looking for
player exchange?
Player exchange, because if you're looking at the teams that need that, is there anybody that's worth that? You know, it would have to be draft picks at that point, and again, I don't think you get much value. Even with Brissett packaged with it, maybe they'll throw in a second rounder. They're not going to give you a first, though. Most teams will not give up their first round unless it's just a generational type player.
Maybe an extra second rounder or something, you know.
Yeah.
That was my question.
No, that's a good question.
That is a good question, and and believe it or not, it's got good possibilities.
Like, because with our GM, Chris said he just dangling the Jacoby just went for the right time moment. Okay, we'll give you this for this draft pick. That's what I think is going to happen.
Well, here's a fun one to throw at you. That's going to make a lot of people growl. Jacoby Brissett back in New England. But think about teams that are going to need that quarterback in the future. And I know you never want to do that deal, but he knows their system. It would make sense to send him there.
It is now a goal of mine to extract that word out of your vocabulary. Tell him, Carvey. Tell him.
That's fantastic. No, that's good.
Hey, man, what did you think about the idea of everybody getting together and going out to training camp? Why? Why are you getting married? Well, if she's your best friend, you don't have to marry her. A what?
We got another Cowboys fan.
Oh no, it's a Cowboys school.
Well, you're gonna have a Colts wedding, buddy. All right. Well, hey, we'll try to. Hey, we'll talk later, and we'll try to put something together for the training camp so we can all go out and see the Browns scrimmage. Throw some pickle juice at Odell. All right, thanks, Garvey.
That was cool.
Isn't that fun?
That was a good call. I like that. Yeah.
That's fun. I've talked with Carvey quite a bit on these pages, and last year at the Combine, he came out and we got to meet and spend the day together and got to talk to Eric Ebron together and had a real good fun time.
Another caller. You want to take one more?
All right, line 3.
D-Line Sports.
Hi, Eric calling.
Hey, how's it going, Eric?
I had a quick question for you guys.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I was just going to ask that in the chat, but just want to hear you guys' thoughts there on Josh Jacobs, Colts first round. I don't know if they're looking at the first round, but if we come in for a private visit, seems like there's some interest there. It's going to be only get like 20 or 30. It really threw me off guard to hear you talk from Max. Did guys stop there? I don't know if Tyler goes BPA in the first round. I heard you guys mention like Logan, Farrell, Bird, all those pass rushers are on. Just the idea of Josh Jacobs going 26, you guys see that, or how do you guys feel about that?
Good, Coach.
Personally, I don't think Jacobs will fall that far. In my mock draft, I had him going at 22 to Seattle. I think he's talented, and I think the Colts could use some help. But after picking up Jay Ajayi, having Marlon Mack, and the human Swiss Army knife with Nyheim Hines, and even Jordan Wilkins, I don't know if they're going to go first round after a running back, especially one from Alabama after some trouble we had with the last one. But I think that's a great question. I don't think running back is not a need, but I think we have things that are probably more pressing than that.
Yeah, I was just saying if he falls there. Like, I think you guys go together, right? You didn't want that last week?
I did, yes.
I believe they took Penny last year in the first round. So, I mean,
Yeah, they did. They took Rashad Penny, and he's, as far as I know, he's been kind of a disappointment.
I just figured if he was there, I just think it's a little real, maybe to look at Jacob. But, first round, you never know.
Yeah.
Also, something to think about too, Eric, is the deception is always at play coming up to the draft. Teams bring in players all the time to make the other teams think that they're really, really interested in this guy. And they think if you're interested in him, they should be too. And they're picking before you. So they're going to pick this guy so you don't get him. Deception is big time right now. Now, is that the case? I don't know. Only Chris Ballard's going to be able to answer that question. But I'm saying don't throw it out of the algorithm in that case, because Chris Ballard has said on multiple occasions that the backfield is sound. He loves Mack. He loves Hines. He's not doing anything but going forward with his guys that he has. Now, if he falls down to a second-round pick that we have, do we pick him up? If you've got everybody else that you want, why not? The kid, he's definitely talented. He's definitely worth it.
I feel like if you look at the Colts team, the way it's structured now, the least group of need we have right now obviously is quarterback, then offensive line. But after that, is it possible it's running back? I mean, is it? I think it's an opinion, but I think that we have a solid, not great set of running backs.
I think we go with a receiver before we go with a running back.
I would agree with that. I think we need depth at that position. No, that's a solid opinion. That's a solid opinion. I think you've got a good point there. I think personally, by the time the Colts get to pick at 26, if you look at my draft, the really strong edge rushers that are in this draft are going to be gone. So that's why I went with an interior guy. The Colts still need help up front, and I think he would really help Darius Leonard and the other Colts linebackers be able to flow free and actually make them better players. So I feel like that would be a good enhancing.
Definitely. If you're interior and outs, keep those linebackers clean.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It is so hard to put a game plan against that.
Well, it's like putting Quentin Nelson in front of Andrew Luck would be the same thing as putting a Christian Wilkins in front of Darius Leonard.
True.
So. Yeah, I agree. I like Simmons a lot, but again, I just didn't have him making it to the Colts. I had him going to I had him going to Philadelphia. Just because he felt like a Philadelphia guy, but the reason he felt like a Philadelphia guy is because he can play the run and he can play the pass from the interior. He's a good defensive tackle. He's very solid, and I think if we had the opportunity to pick him, I don't know if I would pick him in front of Wilkins for us. But I think he would be a solid pick also.
This year's draft is really, really tough.
It's very deep along the defensive front seven.
And that makes it even tougher.
Yeah.
Because now you're crossing hairs between this guy and this guy and this guy. Most drafts you don't have to do that when it comes to the defense.
Yeah.
But this year it's really, really tight race.
Yeah. I think that's fairly accurate. I've got
quite possible.
Yeah, I think I've got 5 wide receivers going in the first round, but other than that, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the quarterback class this year. The running back class to me is very average. I don't think that they're horrible. I just think they're just very average. Defensive backs even this year, you've got a few really strong ones, but then after that, I think there's a big fall off. Yeah. Is he more of a box safety, kind of a Landon Collins type? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I haven't got a whole lot of time to watch him. I know the name. I know who he played for. Oh, we got all kinds of new people on the show this week. But yeah, I wouldn't be disappointed with them getting a safety either. Clayton Gathers is aging. Matthias Farley, to me, he's an average safety, but he's solid. Malik Hooker hasn't proven why we picked him in the first round to me yet, but I think he has potential.
He hasn't peaked, but I think this year he will.
I hope so. If he can stay really injury-free, it would go a long way.
I'm a big fan of Hooker.
Yeah. I think there's a good chance of that.
Most definitely.
Yep.
Hey, you got your draft pick in for the competition?
I did. I just submitted them. So I think you could close off today or would it be next week?
I don't know. You want to give everybody another week to get their mock draft in?
I would love to let them go ahead and go all the way up till next Wednesday.
All right, Coach called it. Next Wednesday at what time?
5 o'clock.
5. All right. To win the. I didn't hear him.
Could you repeat the question? It's in week 6. Yeah, they lost the Super Bowl that year. Yeah, they did. Miami. Miami.
Connecting the dots, baby. I love it.
I like it. Informed fan. So you're saying that if we go running back in the first round this year, we go to the Super Bowl? Fantastic. That was a great call. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, Eric. All right, you guys. So to win this, Eric Ebron signed mini Colts helmet.
Double signed.
You put in your first round mock drafts. Either put it in this thread or any thread that D-Line Sports has. We'll get it calculated. DM it to me or DM it to Coach Swopes. And then whoever has the most picks right, regardless if a team moves up or down, team that the pick goes to doesn't matter. Just the pick in that spot.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Player versus pick.
Right. Whoever has the most wins that. If there's a tiebreaker, we're going to play rock, paper, scissors. If there's any other questions past that, I get to be the judge because it's my helmet. And I am in this competition because I want to win my helmet back. But you've got until next Wednesday. What's the date next Wednesday?
24th.
The 24th at 5 o'clock to get your picks in. Now, next week, the show's not going to start until around 8 o'clock. The same time the NFL draft starts. Because we want to center this next week's show completely around the draft. We're going to stay live through the entire draft.
For the first round.
Yeah, just for the first round. This old fella gotta get his sleep. I don't even call it beauty sleep no more because that shit don't work. But yeah, just for the first round. So next week's show is going to be through the entire first round. We're going to calculate scores. Hopefully we'll have a winner. We'll know who the winner is.
Fantastic.
By the end of the first round. But you've got until Wednesday at 5 o'clock to get your first round mock drafts in to win that helmet. We're going to have some fun. We're going to take in a lot more calls next week because we're not bringing in notes. We're not scheduling anything else to talk about in the show but the draft picks, the teams. There's only one team that we will not talk about because we do not care about them. We all know who that is. Don't we, Coach?
Who is it?
Coach Poops. That's your name for every time you say their name.
Fantastic.
You get Coach Poops. Anyways, anything else you want to hit on? We've been on here a good while today. This was a fun show.
Yeah, we had a lot of good talk about the Masters, the NFL scheduling, good callers. Thank you guys for calling in.
That's fun, ain't it?
Yes, that was
we
a good
do.
time.
We do have to get a better call-in system. I'm looking into a couple different things besides just a phone and a speaker coming through. I think there's some programs that we can download on the computer where they can call through. I am researching some of that, but give me a little bit of time. Got a bunch of other responsibilities that I have to perform.
Oh, adulting.
I know. Well,
We're buying a house.
Yes.
Well,
she said we.
Damn, is this show paying you that much already? Wow.
Expectations, man. You said they're going 16-0. That means the show's going to blossom also.
Boom, baby. And we're winning the Super Bowl.
Yes.
All right, well, we didn't get to a couple topics. We didn't get to the NBA playoffs. We didn't get to the NHL playoffs.
Nah.
We didn't talk nothing about baseball.
Nah. We like football here.
We are a football family. That's for
Yes.
sure. All right.
Let's call it a night.
You done, Coach?
I am done.
Miss Christian, you done? Mr. Tony, you done? You ready to go and play some Fortnite? Speaking of Fortnite, I need some friends on Fortnite.
Wait a minute, this isn't about sports. We can't talk about that here.
It is sports.
Oh,
it is
she
sports.
said
Fortnite is competition. It's esports.
That's going on right now. The World Cup is going on in New York.
Right, so watch your mouth, woman. Watch it.
We have a special esports correspondent down the table from me.
Oh, we most definitely do. He's a professional streamer.
Burgeoning geeks everywhere. I love it.
Love it.
I love it.
Anyways, if you want to find me on Fortnite, I'm burning bet. Capital burn, lowercase n, capital bet. Find me on Fortnite. Let's get some dubs. Because Tony won't play with me no more because I'm trash. But so I need some new friends. He was my only friend.
Sorry.
And he won't play with me.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. I'm really trash, so I don't blame him. But anyways, you guys, we had an awesome, fun show today. Love talking to you guys. Love that we got the phone systems working, that you guys calling in, get more people interactive. Going to have a fun show next week, so make sure you tell everybody. Tell your grandma, your grandpa, get them involved. We're going to sign off here for now, but you guys know the drill. Be good to each other. No drinking and driving. Calling Uber, it's a lot cheaper. Trust me.
It is.
And as always, go Colts.
Stay classy.
We all
got it.